Right, so I've got our halite washer out, and again, shiny side to the bearing housing. You can put a dab of grease on there if you want to hold it in place. Them casings are still warm, which is I'm going to do actually. Just put a dab of grease in the four, you know, north, south, east, west, and then just stick it in. It goes inside on the edge of the bearing, so it basically rests on the outer bearing race. We'll give our hand a wipe, and we take our drive side oil seal plate, and what I'm going to do at the moment, I'm just going to stick one screw in there just to hold it in place and hold the halite washer in place, because what I want to do is just put a dab of Loctite on the screws. So that'll do at the moment, a bit greasy. Get some Loctite. And you just want to dab on the screw thread, don't go mad. I'm going to need some more soon. Right. Just put a dab on. Just use your screwdriver to start it again. And like all of the screws, we're going to just do them crisscross X pattern. So this only needs to be done up loosely at the moment. Don't force it all the way home. And I'll take the other one for the top corner. These ones I find fiddly. Oh, put a bit too much on that now. If you put too much on, it will never come out. Use that screwdriver again. Because I'd already fitted that, I knew that they all lined up perfectly. Again, the foibles of a Scooter's India engine casing. Right. Don't forget, we've got to do that one. And again, far too much, way too much on there. I knew it wasn't going in level because I could see the threads on that, but I've just sort of finger tightened that up. Now I need to do the last one, and we can put our Loctite away for a bit. A bit more than that, that's it. Let's put a dab on that thread again. I say don't go mad with it. It might only be a medium strength, but you try doing it when it's been on there for years and years. Right, so what I've done, if you can, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but that's where I knock normally, right on the corner edge with a punch. But I'm not doing that because we put that on. So what I need now is, I need an extension, and I need my impact driver, which is here. what you're basically doing is put the extension on in between the top and that. I'll get the extension bar out. Don't have to go mad with a 6 foot long one, as long as you can reach the screws. And I want my flat blade, and what I'm going to do is just tighten them up by hand, again in a crisscross. Right, so that's one. That's two. That's three. And that's four. You find it very hard to grip that with the grease I've got. So all you do now is, ideally we could do with a bigger head than that, which I don't seem to have. Let me go and see if I can find a bigger screwdriver head. Right, I've had a look and I can't find any bigger ones, so the biggest one I've got I'm going to have to use. So I've turned the engine mount on its side, and I've tightened them up with a proper screwdriver. So I don't think that will go much more than that. That one will. I didn't think that was the right head for a minute, but it is. So I'm just going over them again. And I don't think I'll risk that anymore. So that's our four screw heads done up tight. I just want to give it a wipe. And then we'll stand that up. We can think about putting the crank in now. Before I put the crank in, I just need to clean the grease off of it. And what I'm going to do is, where the oil seal goes, just put a dab of 3-in-1 on there. I was going to say, don't tell me that's running out as well, it shouldn't be. So I'm putting a bit of 3-in-1 oil on it, and the crankshaft just rotates it in like so, and all we have to do then is get it pulled in. I'll put that oil back. Time for a new 3-in-1, I think. Don't just pull it straight in. I still think that might need another bearing on that. All I'm doing on here is just to get it started. Once it's in a certain depth, then this bolt can take over. I'll get it lined up, it might actually work. So there. So I'm not pulling it in with this. All I'm doing with this is to get the crankshaft to start. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Ratchet. Oh. 14 normally. That was a 13. Wow. What we can do with the crankshaft itself, let me put that one away. As you've probably seen, you can buy a tool that actually locks the crankshaft in, or what you can do is you can put a screwdriver in there to stop it rotating, and then just do it up. But what we need to do, when you watch the crankshaft coming in, you can see it closing in. We only need it in enough to start it basically on the, that will do for a minute I think. We rotate that back. That's it. Pull that out. You can put rubber pliers in. I'm just going to have a look where that is. So that's just starting. So hopefully, if we lock that up the top, I actually want it to come undone, not tighten up. That's it. Probably undo that bolt again. I don't hit crankshafts with hammers, basically. Never ever ever hit a crankshaft with a hammer. Recipe for disaster. Especially one like that where it's a good crankshaft. Right, fair enough. Yeah, so that's quite good. I'm quite pleased with that. So I'm just hoping that and that. Yeah. It's just about there. There you go. Then you can use the sprocket aligning part there to just pull it in gradually. It won't go all the way in like that at the moment, but we can turn our crankshaft around. Yeah, maybe a tad more than that, but we can turn our crankshaft around as it's going in into the oil seal. So at the moment I'm just going to lock that off again and give it a bit of a tighten. The crankshaft then should pull in a bit more like it is. I hope people can see that coming in. We'll spin the crankshaft around a couple of times. It just gives the the oil seal a chance not to be stuck. There we go. We're going to need to rotate that again in a minute. Right, so that's not far from being on the oil seal now. So let's undo that nut. And just see how far the crankshaft's in at the moment. About halfway. We can actually put the dust seal on. And a washer. And put our bolt back in again. There we go. Tighten her up again. Because we're using basically the alignment tool here, it will pull in straight. It won't go in off kilter. Right. So all we need to do is lock that off again. Again, the camera's banging away, but there we go. Crankshaft locked. Want to spin it 360, that's it. As I say, all that does is it gives the oil seal a chance. Crankshaft actually pulling in quite well now. Let's spin it again. Not a million miles away from being in now, that. That again. Put it back round there so you can see the crank being pulled in. And socket so it falls over. Right, let's give it a spin again. Rotate that round. It's millimetres away now from being. Sorry about that. I've been thinking I'm recording and I'm not. So we've got the crankshaft in. What I'm doing now is putting the mag side on. I've given a wipe of the crankshaft, and again I've got fibres off the cloth. But we're basically sealing the mag flange, and if we look at where the tab is, the screws have got to line up basically where, if you're looking at where the screws are, that doesn't line up. Does it line up that way? I think the tab goes forward, to be honest with you. It's a while since I've done one of these yet. That looks like it all lines up, 3 of them. Yeah. So the little tab cutout goes forward, and just push it over these screws as such, little studs, and just push it home. I just want to clean that again. You get lazy with this stuff and this gasket sealer, and it literally goes everywhere. As I was saying when I thought I was recording, you just need to seal the outside edge basically, so don't go too mad with this stuff, and bear in mind when it clamps down like that, it's too much close to that edge. You want to seal around the screws, but a good, in this case a new engine and a new flange should be flat. There's no reason in the world they're not, but we are talking about Indian stuff again, and they have got a make do attitude, haven't they? So that's why Scooters India are not there no more, but hey ho, it's in the past. Now we're getting twist and go type things, not original Lambrettas anymore, but that's the way the world spins. We all progress. So I just need to wipe inside there again, because I don't want no crap inside. It's nice and clean. I did think I was taping earlier on when I wasn't. What I've done is I've packed the bearing, and what you want is it basically level. You don't want it oozing out, because you'll get build up in there and it'll just blow the seals. I'll just give it a wipe, and then what we're doing then is we're putting our flange on basically, and then if I remember rightly, this one was tight, wasn't it? There you go. It was tight till it got close. Again, I'm only using the rubber end to knock it on. Nearly home. Spin the crankshaft. What we're doing that for again is the oil seal. About 90% home. Rag. There you go. Crankshaft's turning quite easily. We can turn that from the other side while knocking that home. What we can do is put our nuts on here. Any nuts will do while we're just tightening it up. M6, of course. These ones are fine. We can just draw that onto the crank slowly. There we go. Just need to get some of these tools out of the way. Dry that off as well, it's very greasy. Just used you know, one screw turn at a time and bring it home. Not a million miles off now anyway. And what I want to keep doing is keep turning this crankshaft, or trying to anyway. Yeah, there we go. As I say, because we don't want the oil seal cocking things up. It's going in quite even actually, because all the bolts here, the nuts I should say, are going in. I mean, that's home. That's home. And that's home. What we can do is put our washers in. The gasket everywhere. Right, so I'm just putting the washers on and the stainless steel nuts and bolts so I don't lose anything. Right, that's just about hand tight. I'll do this one next. Flat washer, spring washer, yeah, that's round the right way. More fluff. What I'm going to do is just tighten them a tad more when this one's on. Keep doing that. Flat washer, spring washer, and right into us. Right, what I'm going to do now is about a quarter of a turn. That's it. 1, 2, 3. That is rock solid now. Should be able to spin the crank. There's no noises other than the ratchet. Oh, I'm doing taking them bits out for. But yeah, it could do with coming over a tad more. If I can get the light in there again. Don't know why it does that, but it's closer there than it is there. It will pull over just by doing up the nut there and locking off the crankshaft with a screwdriver again. So we need that on, tightening up, and then lock off the crankshaft as such, and then just do that a tad more. It will pull over anyway. There you go. That looks brilliant. Looks nice and even now. Yeah. Leave that in there at the moment. So what I'm going to do is lock off the crankshaft again because I want this sprocket off. Hey, I'm not using this bolt anyway. That's it. There we go. You see this? That's what I was saying before, it just normally pulls off. I'll take our washer off. And if I get this stuff out of the way, I can show you where the crankshaft is in relation to the bearing. Just slightly in. which is fine. I am actually going to reuse this oil thrower because it was new. This was in good nick, so we'll reuse that one.